Now, change the subject. It's been a long time since we heard anything from Britain's favourite political Rottweiler, Norman Tebbit.
Mr. Tebbit apparently thinks that when the BBC used the word conservative to describe Mr. Gorbachev's opponents in Russia, people will associate these groups with the British Conservative Party.
According to Tebbit, a Labour-saving device would be some bizarre electronic apparatus for preserving socialism. A Conservative estimate would be a guess made by a member of the Tory party. And a Liberal helping would be a generous portion of food that went on and on about the need for proportional representation.
It's not as if the names of the political parties don't have other overtones. The first two British political parties were the Whigs and the Tories. Now, the word Tories is interesting since originally it actually meant Irish bandits. No one knows what Whigs were, though they might have been Irish chat show hosts.
Governments always like to accuse the media of bias against them. Many Tories think the BBC is a hotbed of communist sympathisers, which is obviously bollocks. When you look at BBC programmes, how could you possibly imagine this to be true?
All right, panel, the next round. I don't know what President Ceausescu fired at the protester, but it certainly wasn't a blank.
Now, in any case, supposing every programme did have to be totally unbiased politically, this would render some programmes really rather pointless.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Now, Mrs. Thatch is OK. She's doing a difficult job. I don't agree with myself, but she's a strong leader, and I don't know that Labour would be much better. I don't think much of any of them, really. I mean, they're all the same, aren't they? I mean, I'm not really very interested in politics at all myself. My name's David Owen. Good night.
The worrying thing, of course, is that the more extreme the government, the more they tend to rely on propaganda. During the war, both Britain and Germany actually dropped leaflets on each other to try and demoralise the population. Nowadays, of course, this would have been even easier. OK, chaps, prepare to drop the leaflets. These should really make the blighters despair. Leaflets away!
Oh, Hens, was ist das? Congratulations, Mr. Gruber. You and your family at 39 Heinrichstrasse could soon be the proud owners of a new Austin Montego 1.6 when you enter a Reader's Digest prize draw. Oh, no, not again.
Oh, no, and look, crabby free samples of shampoo and a sample sachet of a new coffee.
Ah, smells good.
Another famous instrument of wartime radio propaganda was Lord Haw-Haw. He was a British bloke who broadcast Nazi propaganda to demoralise us. He could have been worse, though. He could have been Gary Davis.
And a big hello to Tracy, Sean, Tony and Baz, who are working at the munitions factory in Stepney. And now it's time for Gary's treacherous bit in the middle. That Adolf Hitler, isn't he a great bloke? He's young, free and Nazi. Anyway, next week the Luftwaffe Roadshow will be visiting Coventry and we'll be playing bits and pieces.
Now, maybe we should have more right-wing propaganda on the BBC. It would keep Norman Tebbit happy and it might be quite fun.
And it's Zeegal from me.
And it's Seagal from him. Seagal.
In the West, we do already get a lot of propaganda to help us accept huge inequalities in wealth. The Western media are at pains to make rich people seem glamorous and enviable. The Eastern Bloc media take the opposite view. Elena Ceausescu had wardrobes full of clothes, huge palaces and a sumptuous lifestyle. In Romania, this got her shot. In this country, it would have got her a big feature in Hello magazine. Finally, of course, there is subliminal vote Labour propaganda, which works at a subconscious level and is, say many Thatcherite experts, the most insidious form of Tebbit is a turd-brained, subtle brainwashing Tony Benn for president. Subliminal propaganda works, of the world unite, by giving messages no poll tax in such a way don't pay, that we are not aware of them at any Gorby Mania Kenneth Clark is a craphead level. It is actually illegal stuff student loans, and certainly we, at the BBC, Bring Back Stalin, would not ever broadcast any Vote Labour advertising on the radio. Fascist bully boy, please state, thank Tories out, you.